Hi everyone, and thanks for joining. Today I'm going to be making a whipped body butter with mango butter as the main ingredient. And the reason we're using mango butter is because it's very moisturizing and nourishing for the skin. It has lots of vitamin C that helps boost the brightness of skin, and vitamin A that helps increase like a youthful appearance and reduces fine lines on skin. So it's a very rich moisturizer. The first step of this recipe is to measure out your mango butter, and you just want to go ahead and keep it solid. We will not be melting the mango butter down in this tutorial to make the whipped body butter. Part of that is because I don't want it to get grainy or lose any of the properties of the mango butter. The next ingredient I'm adding is grapeseed oil. Grapeseed oil has lots of antioxidants. It's also rich in vitamin E, which we'll be adding more vitamin E later. And it's also thought to be very hydrating and anti-inflammatory. So I thought that would be a nice oil to add to this mixture. And this is the only liquid oil that we're adding right now to get started. I do want to mention that with the grapeseed oil, I did actually do a cold infusion of rose petals on this oil. And if you're not familiar with infusing oils, I would suggest looking up a tutorial for that. If I get enough requests, I can do a video specifically going over that process, but we'll save that for another day. Part of the reason that I used rose petals in this is because it's thought that they are used to help fade like any kind of blemishes. So I'm hoping that this will be a really nice body butter, especially with the infused oil. Now this part is totally optional. You don't have to do it. You could just add the grapeseed oil and it'll have plenty of benefits. So what I'm doing here is just whipping down the mango butter and the grapeseed oil. Again, I didn't melt anything down and I'm just mixing it. I did speed the video up quite a bit, and I think I mixed it for about 5 to 10 minutes total to get all the chunks out. And one way that made this a little bit easier is if you did cut the mango butter down into smaller pieces, it helped break that up really quick. And I did use the highest setting on my mixer. Once the butter was mixed really well with the grapeseed oil, I went ahead and started adding some of the colorant. I'm using micas from Nurture's soap. The first mica I add was Maya Gold from Nurture's soap, and just keep in mind the more you add of this, the more it might tint the skin or color the skin, so just kind of keep an eye on that. I think I did about 5 or 6 of these tiny little scoops just to get the color turning slightly brown. I didn't want it to tint the skin too much, but I did want it to leave a little bit of a shimmer on the skin. So I kind of tested it out as I went along to see how it was incorporated. After I've mixed it for another 5 minutes or so, I realized it needed more shimmer, so I added the gold Enviro glitter. And I love the Enviro glitters because they're light and fluffy, and this is going to give it some extra shimmer. You'll see at the end of the video the end result. I'm going to add a few more things to this as well as we go along. Now for the next portion of the video, we're going to add vitamin E oil and the fragrance oil. I like to use these little droppers, and we're going to do about 2.5 milliliters of both of these ingredients. And then we'll just kind of mix them in. The fragrance that I'm using is Avalon Fragrance Oil from Nurture Soap. It is very citrusy and apple. It also is a little bit sugary and kind of musky smell. It's very delicious. And then I'm also using the arrowroot powder. You can use up to 1 to 2 tablespoons of powder for this. I just use 1 because I like it to feel a little less greasy, and I want it to like soak into the skin. So you're just using this powder to get away with some of the greasy consistency of the body butter. It's not necessary, but it does help with that. Lastly, I just went ahead and put them into the containers. These hold about 1.75 ounces. I got these on a closeout deal a few years back, and I have just never made anything with them, so I don't even know if I can find them anymore, but they are nice for like facial creams or body butters, and I thought this would be a good sample size to kind of hand out to friends and family and to continue to test this recipe out. As you can see, this is the final product. It has a slight bronze color to the butter itself, and when you put it on your skin, it does leave a nice shimmer. And I'll go ahead and show it outside because the camera didn't pick it up very well when I was inside, so I just kind of rubbed it into my skin, and then once it was fully incorporated, it takes a minute or so to soak in, and it doesn't stay greasy, so I really like it. It's light and fluffy, and I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment below if you have questions, and let me know what type of body butter you'll be making this year as well.